Well, it looks like President Trump is extending that olive branch to NFL players. In fact, he said professional athletes, let's find a way to end this feud over the flag and the national anthem. Today, President Trump said, well, he wants to hear recommendations from the players on who they think should receive pardons. Take a listen.
You have a lot of people in the NFL in particular, but in sports leagues, they're not proud enough to stand for our national anthem. I don't like that. For the leagues, if they have people, if the players, if the athletes have friends of theirs or people that they know about that have been unfairly treated by the system, let me know. And if I find, and my committee finds that they're unfairly treated, then we will pardon them or at least let them out.
All right, here now to discuss Beverly Hallberg, District Media Group President, and Burgess Owen, a Super Bowl champion, also author of Why I Stand, From Freedom to the Killing Fields of Socialism. Burgess, I got to start with you because essentially what President Trump is saying is that, you know what, maybe these players have a grievance, or grievances rather, and he doesn't like it. He feels bad that they don't have the sort of pride that he thinks perhaps everyone should have, and he's willing to take a listen. Is that the right step? Are we heading in the right direction now?
Absolutely, Charles. And let me just say this one word: checkmate. We have to separate these young men who have been raised in an environment where they really, in their heart's heart, they're trying to do the very best they can with the information they've been trained to been brought with. But on the other hand, we have socialists and Marxists in the background that do not want this to happen. You're going to find that they're going to try their best not to have these young men to meet with the president, because they have the opportunity now to see the heart of a president who cares about the black race, and that in essence, it's making such a game-changing difference. So I'm hoping these young men will take advantage of this, go to the president with people that they want to impact, bring these families back together again, and let's start fighting against the narrative of the left.
Beverly, I know from reading a Twitter feed that you think President Trump made a mistake with regard to the Eagles, but to Burgess's point, is the ball back in the players' court, no pun intended?
I think so. This is a 180 from what we saw on Tuesday. Just personally, I was planning on going to the White House that day with some Eagle fans, some friends of mine who were highly disappointed that the president made this move. And just some background on them: they're conservative, they voted for Trump, they're extremely patriotic. They just wanted to celebrate their team. And the big mistake that President Trump made is I think he made it about him. And I think the other side is he picked the wrong team to do that with. The Philadelphia Eagles, no one on that team took a knee during the national anthem in the previous season.
Although reports say only 2 players were going to show up, though.
There are a lot of reports. We don't know for sure. But I would say on that, even if only 2 players showed up, that looks bad on the Eagles. That does not look bad on the president. I think he should be the bigger person with these types of invitations and let the fans be mad at their own team if they don't send players.
Burgess?
Can I add to that, please?
Sure.
This is more than the Philadelphia Eagles. It's about black boys and girls in these communities that have been trained not to respect our flag, our country, and the left has actually told them that this is anti-black. So no, the president is doing one of the greatest things.
Well, would you say though, Burgess, that if someone said, hey, you know what, that if you're born in a ghetto and all you've seen is despair, poverty, hardship, I don't know that you necessarily have to be trained to feel that way, but it certainly is reinforced. And you would think that perhaps someone who starts to make $25 million a year and gets to see the outside world can certainly break that cycle. So are they really, or is it about training, being trained that way, or is it about being born in a set of circumstances where you're disadvantaged and not even believing or thinking that society cares about you?
Well, it's being in a position where you're trained to think through this. When you have 75% of the black boys in the state of California this last year cannot read and write, then we're going to have a hard time having a conversation about who's at fault. At the end of the day, we have leftists who have trained our boys that oversee these communities that's totally hopeless. When they get these great contracts, they just can't change the way they think because they've grown up in a certain way. So this is a chance now for them to see where the policies of destruction really have been. And a president who cares about the race enough to start giving them an opportunity.
You know, Beverly, Meek Mill was on his way to the White House. He was talked out of it. Some other famous blacks have been talked out of it. I hope that type of shaming doesn't go. I really hope, and maybe the Kim Kardashian situation might have shined the light that, hey, you can get things done even if you don't support the president. She's come out and said she doesn't like him. She hasn't voted. She didn't vote for him. Do you think maybe this is an opportunity now to move this conversation in a positive direction?
I surely hope so. This is a conversation that we needed to have. I think kind of the flames that were thrown on both sides of this issue with the national anthem hasn't been helpful. It hasn't gotten us to a place where we can actually see some change. And when you take a look at criminal justice reform, this is a bipartisan issue. This is a good topic for the president to talk about. And if we can help any more individuals who maybe through mandatory sentencing for drug possession, if we can help them come back into the community, back into the society, I think that's good. And it's good for these young players, these young men, to have a conversation about this. So I applaud the president for opening this up.
And I hope one day everyone, we got to wrap it, Burgess, but go real quick, please.
This country is a place of second chances. Once our race begins to understand that, hope comes back, and watch out. We're back again.
Hey, I know a lot of black folks who voted for George Wallace, so in Alabama. So yeah, we know about second chances, and I do hope that there's a day when everyone does stand for that national anthem, because it's a powerful symbol for every single American. Thank you both very much.